Thanks, Alison. Good afternoon, everybody. Still awake? Stomachs rumbling, ready for lunch? So I think it was a great introduction by Alice and Jim, sitting in front here, bringing up the topic of attribution. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth. Thanks for showing the journey and building the bridges. I think we are all in that process of putting down the pillars, I think, and maybe starting the bridge over troubled waters, I would say. And for that, I would like to introduce my panelists to you. Would you please come up? I think Peter first, maybe. Peter's going to be the last presenter, so maybe you sit on the further side. Peter van Leuven is a colleague of mine from T-Mobile Netherlands, and is certainly within our ecosystem by far the most advanced in terms of attribution modeling and using it in the business. Just before him, we'll be presenting Julian Elliott from Dentsu Aegis, and he'll be also giving more the agency perspective on the attribution topic. And with no further ado, I'd like to introduce the first two speakers, Mike Campbell and Andrew Challier from Ebiquity, and they also have a lot to say on the topic. Thank you.
Hi, our seconds are ticking. We're waiting for the food. I think a number of us have realized that the conference that will follow ICOM is iDiet, but you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff from us that you heard from Jim and Alice, and there's nothing wrong with that because, as Winston Churchill wrote, if you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle or clever, use a pile driver. Hit the point once, then come back and hit it again, then hit it a third time, a tremendous whack. So we're probably going to do that over the next sort of 20 minutes or so. Little bit of intro. I'm the Chief Client Officer for Ebiquity, so I'm going to explain the client challenge, and Mike's going to, as the Head of International Effectiveness, talk about what we believe the solution is. This is the dream for many of our clients. They think that attribution is going to solve all of their problems, and by attribution they do mean digital attribution, although I think there is some need for a definition of what is attribution. The smiley face of optimism, though, is changing, and it's being replaced by something of doubt, as our clients are saying we're struggling to make sense of some of this, and we're actually spending quite a lot of money in getting to some of these attribution solutions. The smiley face becomes even more doubtful when the realization dawns that, in fact, digital attribution is very often only providing half or even less than half of the real answer. Because as many clients continue to invest substantially in offline activity and actually enjoy substantial amounts of offline revenues, they realize that this is only giving them a partial answer. And then when we point out that that partial answer might in fact be wrong because the underpinning maths is flawed, they go to the complete valley of despair. And Mike is going to talk about what we mean by flawed maths. So this is really what we are advising our clients to consider, to look at the whole picture, to think about how customers experience brands and how customers buy things. I'm very pragmatic on this. I spent 20 years in retail, and people buy things that they are aware of. People enjoy paths to purchase, or the consumer path to purchase is seamless. Consumers are far cleverer than we are. The problem is that the organizations that we have are less clever than the consumers. And what happens in measurement terms is digital attribution in isolation is effectively graying out significant parts of the consumer journey where there are businesses that have a combination of offline and online causes and effects. The same message that we heard from Jim and Alice earlier. The silos that Jim and Alice talked about are a real barrier to getting the quality of measurement and result that we need. And the consequences of getting it wrong are considerable. So if people are making decisions based on incomplete data, there is a commercial business result that could well be very damaging. Wrong assumptions about cost per acquisition, wrong investment decisions, this is bad business. And what we see in measurement within businesses looks very much like the scene from Finding Nemo. Mine, 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 everybody trying to claim the credit. But that is not the way to do it, and Mike's now going to explain the way we should do it.
Thanks, Andrew. Just a quick question first. So who has read the Gartner report into, perhaps a show of hands, into attribution? The question was posed earlier about where to start. It's a common sense report. It's easily available online. I would urge that you read it. And in terms of a start point, as a sort of roadmap to look at evaluation, you can take this graphic. If you're in the digital goldfish bowl and all of your sales are online, all of your media is online, then a straight digital attribution solution obviously fits that situation. Most businesses are not in that situation, perhaps have a retail formats where you've got online and offline in terms of the sales pattern, online and offline in terms of the media pattern, and actually to look at a unified model there, I'll explain in a moment, was alluded to before, is the ideal solution for that. If all your sales are offline and the majority of your media is offline, quite frankly, you probably will be there'll be little optimization upside in actually looking at digital attribution in the first place. Andrew alluded to the maths being wrong. The majority of digital attribution in the marketplace at the moment is rules-based. Now, going back 10, 15 years ago, it was always last click. I think there was accountability there, but everyone knew that that's a very basic view of the world. It ignored many of the stimuli and that seamless path to purchase. And quite frankly, whether you exchange that with linear credit or some sort of time decay model, you're actually imposing the rule. We had the hackathon, and the teams were given data sets. And when I come from a sort of econometric background, you let the data decide. You let the data establish what the relationships are without going into more complex maths. That's how you should approach these issues. If the purchase lengths are, or the consumer paths are very short, actually having rules-based is less of an issue, but certainly more complex purchase routes, you need to let the data decide. So we have a lot of clients coming to us at Ebiquity and asking us about the solutions that they have coming from different vendors. We ended up actually making our own digital attribution model. It's not to say that there are other good ones out there, I'd stress, but the key to this is actually getting the maths right and actually having a look at the total universe of both sales and media. What I mean by that, if you're looking first building out the econometric model, you get an establishment of what the base drivers are, and you're absolutely right, look at those base drivers and link it with brand health ideally, but subject of another day. You can then split out and scale correctly the impact of broadcast media and what the total contribution of digital is, and then you can start to go into detail actually with the digital drivers, placement, format, etc. And then you've got the sort of complete end-to-end view, and you have one set of metrics in an organization so you can drive the investment split above the line and below the line correctly. So you reveal the whole picture. You look at all of the media and all of the sales. But that really is only 50% of the task, and certainly from the icon polling, a lot of clients perhaps have the right mathematical approach, but you're still at that orange light stage whereby it's not being implemented. Now, for years in econometrics, half the challenge is explaining a black box so that you can get people to visualize how regression works and you can simplify it, because quite simply, if people don't understand the solution, the maths behind it, there will be a lack of trust and it's not implemented. And I've spoken to a number of people about this issues, whether it's related to attribution or econometrics or some hybrid over the last couple of days. So explaining how it works and telling the storyline is absolutely fundamental. Don't just go to the shiny simulator that's very compelling if you're organizing a pitch. Make sure it lands well and people understand it. So we'll leave you with a few golden rules to talk through. First, take an open mind. There is a big upside of getting this right. There's a huge digital spend out there, but get it right in the context of having the budget split correct between offline and online, understanding the base behavior. Don't attribute it all to a digital media touch point, because I think we're at the point that no one actually believes that answer. I think zero-based budgeting actually sort of proves these things are working is the right way to go. We talked about the seamless journey, but we don't have seamless organizations, so we need to take that discussion up. And anyone within the e-commerce team who's just asking for digital attribution would be well advised to ensure that they're including other people in the organization in the discussion. One thing as well, you need as clients to take control. If you give that to agencies and perhaps media agencies, so they're responsible for the tagging and the tracking and the solution, you need to develop a solution that is portable, that allows you to go with your data and your solution to the next media agency, if that's what you want to do, and try and drive one agenda. With 5 seconds spare. Thank you.